Welcome from South Korea and the Olympic Winter Games Pyeongchang 2018 closing ceremonies. And we've had an amazing presence here at our first Olympics as a worldwide partner. As Intel continues to build out the data-centric future, the Olympic Games provides a unique opportunity to demonstrate some of the technologies that will fundamentally change the way people live, including the way we experience sports and entertainment. We partnered with the Olympics because it's such a great environment to push the boundaries of technology while the athletes are pushing the boundaries of human performance. It's a complex technical environment, one that is rich in data and video, with billions of viewers at home that are counting on technology to bring them an amazing experience. It's an ecosystem where we can partner with some of the best technology companies in the world to transform the games together. And we got off to a fast start on our long-term vision here in South Korea, where together with the rights-holding broadcasters, we helped to deliver amazing VR experiences so people all around the world could feel like they were actually right here in Pyeongchang. We entertained audiences with drone light shows at the opening ceremony and at the nightly medal ceremonies as well. And working together with Korea Telecom, we delivered 22 live 5G links across 10 Olympic locations spanning the country. We moved video up and down from events to devices through a fully 5G network. We powered cross-country, figure skating, and other events with interactive camera feeds, streaming HD video on a network that is capable of supporting 10 times the video capacity of a traditional LTE network. As Intel works with our industry partners around the world to prepare for a future built on data, 5G is one of the most important investments we're making. And we're committed to taking a leadership position in the build-out of that future, from network to cloud to device. We're extremely proud of what we've been able to accomplish for the advancement of 5G here, and I would like to recognize Korea Telecom for their role in making it happen. There's nothing like a true broad deployment to help accelerate our development cycles and testing. I would also like to recognize NTT Docomo and Toyota, our 5G partners, as we look forward to 2020 and what is next for 5G. So, Pyeongchang 2018 is almost over, but please stick around because at the end of today's presentation, you'll have the chance to be a part of history, as together with our friends at Eurosport, we'll be streaming the closing ceremonies to you live over 5G. So enjoy and have a great Mobile World Congress.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Barcelona. Welcome to Barcelona on this gorgeous day, and thank you for joining us here at the Intel event, where we're going to look at some of the things that Intel have been doing in 5G very recently at the Winter Olympics. My name is Sean Collins. I'm the CEO of CCS Insight. My job a little bit later on will be to talk to each of the executives you're going to hear talk separately today, and just asking them a bit of background about some of the things we're going to be discussing, or they're going to be discussing. I'm delighted to say that we have not only, of course, some senior executives from Intel itself, but also from NTT Docomo, from Korea Telecom, and of course from Toyota, who expand a little bit on how both Intel are involved with them, and also how they see some of the 5G future going forward, particularly with respect to what's coming in Tokyo in 2 years' time. But before we get into all of that, let's talk a little bit about what's been happening in the last couple of weeks or so in Pyeongchang. So I'd like to invite up Aisha Evans, who's the Chief Strategy Officer at Intel.
Thank you, Sean, and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. We're really, really excited to be here. It's funny because from a transition standpoint for 5G, you have the Winter Olympics finishing today, and you have the MWC kicking off tomorrow, and 5G is really the link between the two. A lot of people ask me all the time, what was Intel thinking partnering with the IOC? What's the deal really? And our partnership with the IOC is really based on the fact that technology, I was there, I saw it myself for 2 weeks in a row in Pyeongchang, both at the ice and at the mountain. The amount of technology to enable the games and produce the games and bring the games to billions of people is really one of the best broad-scale test beds you can have in life. So that's why we did it, because we think Intel technology can really help reimagine the future of the games. Now, The other thing is you have amazing athletes. I mean, like crazy, crazy. We saw Chloe Kim, and I was like, man, how does she get up that high? I mean, I saw it live, and I was like, I'm happy she's not my daughter. Let's just put it that way. And the interaction of that technology, plus what the athletes do, is what we hope to bring again going forward. Now, hopefully you know this. If not, over the last few years, we're very, very, very proud of our heritage and what we've done as a company, as a PC-centric company. And now we're moving forward into sort of our next journey and around being data-centric. And data really is at the base of all of this. You need to process it, store it, send it places, and really derive information and analytics for it. That means that we're working on memory, we're working on autonomy, we're working on AI, we're working on VR, and of course 5G, which is the lifeblood through the network that ties all these things together. And over the next 8 years, every 2 years at the Olympics, you can expect us to bring and push the envelope with new usages for all these emerging technologies, both by themselves as well as the intersection of all of them. And really, what we think is what you see at the Olympic Games, eventually you see in broad commercial scale in the world, and it changes how we live, how we play, how we work, and all this intersectionality, we get to test it in a real-world environment. Now, we started in Pyeongchang, again, it was pretty amazing, and we focus on this, for these first games, on how not just spectators witness the moment, but how they experience it. It's still the beginning, whether it's VR, whether it's 5G, whether it's bringing real-time analytics, but this is the beginning, and we did it in Pyeongchang, and we will build on this going forward. Now, we really want to thank our partner, Korea Telecom. The network, I always say, is like a foundation for a house or a building. You don't actually see the network every day, but trust me, if you have a bad foundation, you have a really bad house. And without a foundation, there is no house whatsoever. So partnering with Korea Telecom to power the network in 5G at the games, at several venues, and you'll hear more about that, was essential. And for us, we learned a lot, because again, this was not a lab trial or even a neighborhood test. This was really a broad-scale test bed for all of us. So, this is really the sneak peek, and again, we'll do more in Korea. Last but not least, I want to reiterate, we've said this every year for the past 3 years. For us, 5G is not just about communication technology. It is really about bringing the compute, wireless, and the cloud all together, end to end. And it's going to transform how we do everything, especially when you lace on top of it the abundance of video and analytics and AI in general. So, we worked on standards, on defining them, with our partners and with our competitors too, by the way. And we worked on testing in pre-trials. But what's important is that because we were working with Korea Telecom towards Pyeongchang 2018, that is actually how we got the idea of getting involved with the Olympics. Because as we studied, we saw what the Olympics did for instant replay, we saw what the Olympics did for the transition, broad scale of color TV, and we were like, wow, this is a great venue to deploy all kinds of emerging technologies and see what they can really do as you prepare for commercial. So, Korea Telecom, thank you very much, because you may not know this, but you actually inspired us to sponsor the Olympics. Thank you. Now, it's all going to be about 2020. How it is that the Winter Games will be over in a few minutes, well, in a few hours, couple hours. And now we're going to focus on 2020 and Tokyo and what we can bring there and the technologies we can deploy, and we hope to share more with you in a few minutes. And with that, I want to bring up to the stage my friend, Sandra Rivera, and colleague too. And she runs the network, that foundation I was telling you about, and she'll tell you more about what we did.
Good afternoon. The 2018 Olympic Winter Games provided the perfect venue for us to really bring 5G to life. And far beyond a lab test or trial, we were able, together with our partners, build and install over 3,800 terabytes of network capacity at using 22 5G links at 10 different sites across Korea. We were truly able to deliver a complete network infrastructure end-to-end experience. Intel technologies that were showcased at the Olympics included many firsts: 360-degree image capture, live video streaming at high bandwidths and low latencies, our virtual reality experience, and of course the connected car. And underlying all of that was the network infrastructure, as Aisha indicated. The network is like oxygen. It's everything you don't see but can't live without. We took on this incredible task, which was managing a mass 5G deployment with multi-vendor interoperability, very complex venue logistics, extreme weather conditions for any of you that were able to enjoy it. It was very frigid temperatures, high wind conditions, a very, very challenging environment. And we were able to deliver that to thousands of spectators accessing our 5G capabilities on one of the world's largest stages. At the Games, attendees were able to personally engage with the amazing experiences that 5G can deliver. And it is through these key technologies that we were able to show the vital capabilities that 5G will bring to the world. We deployed flexible and powerful network innovations built on our server technology with virtualization capabilities. These included our FlexRAN, Flexible Radio Access Network Reference Architecture, and our multi-access edge computing platforms, or our MEC platforms and servers. Between our FlexRAN and MEC servers, we were able to deliver on the capabilities that almost unlimited computing power brought to the network's edge, much, much closer to the devices and users can bring to the world. We were also able to show how 5G will transform the way media is delivered and consumed. Attendees had the opportunity to engage and experience this capability firsthand. At the Olympic Ice Arena, we placed 100 cameras across the rink that captured the live action on the ice and delivered it in 360-degree views. This video was captured in real time and sent to nearby edge servers using our 5G mobile trial platform. The data was then transferred over KT's 5G network to its cloud data center, where Intel processors rapidly produced time-sliced video of the athletes in motion. Viewers were then able to pick their seat of the venue with an ability to not only view the action on the ice from their preferred viewpoint, but also to revisit the most exciting moments by being able to control the replay activity as well. All of this from different viewpoints, all of this under personalized control that you have with these new technologies. We set up a second time slicing demonstration, which gave attendees a chance to experience onto a virtual ice arena environment and really be able to show off their own ice hockey moves. So here we had cameras capturing the action of the participant from various angles, and we used commercial edge servers based on Intel's FlexRAN and MEC technology that were processing the data, transmitting it via KT's 5G network to a local screen where participants were able to view their performance in near real time. We demonstrated how 5G becomes a game changer for video, allowing viewers to enjoy high-resolution streaming media at gigabit speeds and ultra-low latency. And this is made possible by moving that compute and network capability, again, much, much closer to the endpoint, much, much closer to the users, and giving them actual personalized control of their viewing experience. Another example where we delivered a 5G experience was in Alpensia. Here, we deployed OmniView multi-angle broadcasting technology. And this provides personalized views of the athletes in motion triggered by GPS sensors. Here, we had multiple 5G connected cameras which were actually connected to nearby base stations and then transmitted over KT's 5G network, that camera data, which went to their cloud data center at gigabit speeds, where Intel platforms processed high-resolution video and race information. And then back in the viewing zone, we had tablets where users were able to view that streaming video of the course. They were able to pick their athlete or their camera of choice, their angle of choice, and also they were able to see the race statistics and athlete data as part of that experience. At the Olympic site in Seoul, we offered attendees a ride in our prototype connected car. This was packed with the latest in-vehicle infotainment, as well as it was equipped with gigabit connectivity. This gigabit speed connectivity really leveraged the millimeter wave spectrum and KT's low latency 5G network, and also the Intel 5G Go automotive platform. This provided the connected car with a high definition video streaming experience over 5G in one of the most crowded locations in the world. This was an incredible achievement for Intel and our partners. If you can imagine the complexity of being able to stream high definition video in real time in a very, very crowded environment. And as we look to the future, we know that 5G will enable the connected car not only to connect to its environment, but also to the many, many different applications and services available via the cloud. And in one last amazing experience, KT and Intel provided a virtual reality experience at the Seoul Olympic site where attendees could explore KT's pavilion in the Olympic arena hundreds of miles away in Pyeongchang by connecting remotely through their 5G through KT's 5G low latency network. And you yourself will have an opportunity to experience that virtual reality experience in our 5G zone downstairs after the event. So if we look at everything that we learned about 5G in this broad demonstration of the technology and the experiences, we know that 5G is, of course, represents a set of innovations on the air interface side with technologies like millimeter wave, massive antenna arrays, as well as beamforming technology. But beyond the air interface, the other very disruptive technology that 5G brings is that ability to bring the computing capability much, much closer to those endpoints, and really an almost unlimited amount of computing and network resources by having a broadly distributed 5G infrastructure network that delivers on all of those capabilities. So to sum up, our experience at the Olympics was much, much more than a showcase. It really allowed us to build a full-scale network infrastructure end-to-end from the network to the cloud to the client device, and deliver that using many Intel innovations together with our ecosystem partners. And throughout that journey, KT has been a strong partner for us in that process, and where we work together to gain valuable insights that will allow us to accelerate the path and success of commercialization. So with that, I'd like to invite the CTO of KT, Dr. Jian, to share more of his insights of what we learned at the Olympic Games, and to underscore the importance of the network transformation and unlocking the potential for 5G.
Thank you, Sandra. I'm Hong Bom-jeon from Korea Telecom. We are happy working with Intel during the Olympic preparation. So, have you enjoyed the Olympic game during last week? Anybody? Okay. So, nowadays in Korea, the Olympic closing ceremony is now going on. So, maybe this is a very interesting time. Maybe this 12 o'clock match in Korea, the 8 p.m. In Pyeongchang. So, close ceremony is now still going on. Anyway, so we are delighted to have partnered with Intel to unlock the future of Olympic Games with the world's first broad-scale 5G network. So it was quite challenging to introduce 5G to an event like Olympic, and we are proud to have been chosen to deliver on that challenge. So together, we are able to give attendees groundbreaking access to wireless broadband at gigabit speed, ultra-low latency videos, and live-streamed immersive content. So this was all made possible with KT's 5G Olympic network and Intel connectivity, including its powerful edge and core network computing capabilities and high-performance processors. With our Olympic 5G network, we are able to advance not just our own 5G aspirations, taking a leadership position, but also inspire global top-tier telco companies and device manufacturers and government agencies to advance their own. The 5G services and network stations we set for the Olympic won't be used just for the event. The relevant equipment and specifications are now available for other users, and we are ready to get started on what's next. To deliver the services for the Olympics, the key element was the 5G network system as well as 5G devices that can actually work. We had to prove that the millimeter wave can be utilized as cellular resources, providing contiguous coverage along with high capacity of several gigabits. Now we can say we did it successfully. Okay? Cheers. One of the challenges was to secure the interoperability of various systems. KT had defined the world's first 5G specifications with prominent partners, including Intel, well before the beginning of 3GPP standardization. It had started when a lot of people still thought that 5G is too early to talk about. We believe our efforts has accelerated the global standardization since then. And as you know, the first set of 5G standard by 3GPP have been released recently, far earlier than everyone expected a couple of years ago. Another challenge was to create real 5G use cases. KT took advantage of Olympic sport event as a chance to show use cases requiring 5G capabilities. So Sandra had demonstrated, explained some kind of applications such as OmniView and interactive time slide, 360 degrees virtual reality, and SyncView. Those four services were demonstrated last Winter Olympic Games in Pyeongchang. So, for example, the interactive time slice delivers more than 100 video streams. So, using cameras around the track. So, it delivers the very interactive experience, immersive experience to the users. So, people can choose the view or any angle as they like. So this kind of immersive experience was very interesting, and the Olympic Games became more interesting using those kind of media services. It also plans to introduce new use cases, especially focusing on ultra-low latency and massive connectivity features. For instance, VTX can be a good candidate application in which various vehicle and traffic information can be exchanged in real time with 5G ultra-low latency capabilities. While surveillance and AR workforce for smart factories can be other candidates for 5G future applications. Furthermore, new killer devices will be the key element for success in 5G commercial market. In that respect, Intel is the most essential partner who can put 5G features into a lot of devices such as car, drone, robot, camera, and so on. In addition, all virtualization and cloud-native capabilities will be the core technology in future 5G network. In this area, we hope to collaborate further with Intel as well. This technology will be expanding the global ecosystem, bringing various startups and innovators into the market. It will be beneficial for customers in terms of cost and services as well, helping 5G take off more rapidly in the market. Okay, thank you.